I'm so excited to have one of my clients here, MaSanda. It's so good to have you here. Um, we were talking, and it was one of those moments where I thought, there's a big, important message here for her to share for you. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just record it. Let's just record it and do it. And she said yes. So, yay. Thank you. Thank you for a couple of minutes of doing this. So we worked together. We
Yeah.
worked together for a few months and did some one-on-one work. Maybe we start with where you were before we started working together. What were some of the things that you were struggling with, or some of the inner thoughts that you had around love, dating, relationships? What was going on?
I was on a 10-year relationship sabbatical and was working with family members who had passed away. And then this is the opportunity for me to really move into relationship. I was ready. But I thought at this age, do I want to start? And where do I start? And what are the values that I have that are important to me that as I move into a new relationship that would be part of what I would assess when I'm looking for a new partner. So that's where I was.
And were there any concerns or challenges? Like, why me? Why work with a love coach?
Well, because you gave me a new mindset about what was possible.
Mm.
Spirituality is a high value for me, and I didn't put that as one of my top values. But once we did that values exercise and I moved that to the top, then it was much easier when I had profiles coming to me that if they didn't meet that criteria or that value, then I wasn't interested and I moved on. And I have a beautiful life. I wasn't desperate for a relationship, but I really had to think about what was important. But I was also stuck on a certain person based on my past. They had to be 6 foot tall or taller because that had been all my relationships. And you pointed out the content of a man's character is not based on how tall they are. And so I opened up my profile to 5 foot to 6 foot 1 just to see.
Wait,
And
wait, wait. Let me just back up. I think you had it at 6'1", but you lowered it, right?
lowered it to about, I thought 5 foot 4. I'm 5 foot 5 and a half. And I just opened it up to a different height because you reminded me that the average man is 5 foot 9, so that there
Yeah,
was
the pool is pretty small when it's like 6 foot, 5'11". It's like,
so I thought, oh, I just opened it up, and I just opened it up to quite the scale, and I attracted a man who's 5 foot 2, who is the perfect match for me, value wise, spirituality wise, dreams and aspirations. I mean, I would never have met him if I hadn't adjusted that height scale.
I think that's so amazing. That's one of the reasons I also wanted you to come on here, is that not only the height thing, because I can't tell you how many women struggle with that and limit themselves. And, hey, everybody's going to do what they need to do, want to do. And if we're truly wanting that partner, we need to look at that. We need to look at that. The other thing I want to highlight is what you shared about your values. We do this special relationship blueprint exercise, and there's a lot of value processes out there. What I love about this process, I've been doing it for years, is it's not just a list of things. I want loyalty. I want somebody who's funny and adventurous. We drill down so deeply into what these values, these things that you desire to have in your life, what's the importance of them, and then we get them into the order that is most important for you. And I remember when we did that, it was like, okay, now I have my blueprint. I'm going to come from that place. And it seemed like everything really shifted for you because you were looking differently through those eyes when you were online. You want to share a little bit more about the journey to this person?
Well, and to underline what you just said, I didn't realize how important spirituality, how high that value was until we did that exercise. And
Mm.
back into then looking at profiles, it made all the difference in the world because I was clear what was important. And I think I was going to hide it or I wasn't going to mention it. And you said, lead with it. If that is your top value, lead with it. And that made
Mhm.
all the difference in the world. that I led with it. And then I attracted a partner that has very similar, specifically spirituality values that I do. And it's just wonderful. So we match on so many different levels now.
I love that. I think it's so important when we really stand for the most important things for us. Because when we settle, I mean, we were just sharing, I was sharing about my soulmate that I met, that it blows my mind truly at all the things that I used to settle on in the past that I don't settle on now, that I have a great life and I didn't have to sacrifice my great life to call in a partner to meet me. And that's some of the things that you were sharing, which is you don't have to sacrifice, you don't have to lower your standards. Like
Mm.
you had a blueprint and you stuck with it.
Yeah, and it's important to me that I keep my very beautiful life that I had before I had a relationship, and to stay in communication and talk. And then the value of just having a break from a relationship was valuable, so that I could really get to know me and what I wanted. So coming into it, I still want those things. I don't want to give up everything I've created in my life and in my community. That's still important to me. And then so now it's the art of how do you integrate those two aspects, the life I had before and then the relationship I have now.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, it's not so done. It's like there are two people coming together. And when you really know who you are and you're aligned, and then you call in somebody else, there's that, the Venn diagram, so to speak. It's like, okay, how do you get the we part? This is me, this is you, and how do we work the we part? And so, what I know about you is you've done some really good inner work to get you to this place, and you're deeply listening to your heart
Hmm.
and not settling who you are or what is important to you. And oof, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because I was telling you, 10 years ago, my last relationship, excuse me, it was all about accommodating his needs and what does he want. And I was so in love and da 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 da, and that ended badly. So now it's like, here I am. This is what I want. How can we work it out? So refreshing, Junie.
I
Like,
love it. I love it. What a different way to be, right? Right. It is refreshing and it's so much more enjoyable. I think about the row your boat gently down the stream. So many of us, and me included for years, swam upstream. And it's like, wow, when you've checked the important boxes and you can just kind of relax. It's like the lazy river. It's so enjoyable because at the end of the day, relationships are challenging. Life happens. And the last thing we want is more challenge in the relationship on top of life. So good, sweetheart. Anything else you want to share about the journey of working with me, dating, anything you think somebody might benefit from in this moment?
I appreciate your knowledge, your wisdom, your awareness, your life. I like how even you are sharing your vulnerability about your journey in your relationship and sharing your doubts and fears about it, because I
Mm.
totally relate to it. At this age, it's like, oh my God. And then seeing you blossoming now in your new relationship, that's like, oh wow, it is possible. It's so cool.
It
You
is possible. And I shared with you, and I that's people say, "What's your secret sauce, Junie?" I'm like, I kind of tell it as it is, you know. I am pretty transparent, and yeah, I mean, I was walking my talk and not settling and not lowering my standards, and I definitely had a story going on of, can I really meet somebody that's going to match me in the ways that are most important for me? And I had to surrender to that. And that's really, I think, what opened it all up for me is I was like, it's either going to happen or it's not. I'm not in the driver's seat. I am just going to keep showing up and being proactive and listening to my heart. And the rest is history. And I think we all benefit from that when we truly listen to our hearts and feel how good it is or not, and to really honor that. And those are the good healthy muscles I think we all need to have success in love. Yeah, I love
well,
sharing because
also,
it helps.
yeah, the biggest benefit that I got from working with you is to have a broader perspective on what's possible and what I want.
Yeah.
Because I had
Yeah.
my old stories about, oh, here we go again, and I'm not gonna blah, 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 blah. And just the exercises and the coaching that you provided just opened my mind to, oh, I never thought about it like that. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, without giving specifics, I know there was one particular thing that you said this may not work. And then it was like, and this is what we do in our minds is we sometimes think so black and white, like, well, this is how my life is. This person's not going to fit into my life in that way. And yet there's a gray area. And how might we work it? And so I really want to acknowledge you for really leaning in and looking at it with fresh eyes because dating can be challenging enough. And when we bring in these beliefs or these, it's not going to happen for me because I have this situation, because we all have different situations, it limits what's possible. And I saw you moving through that and breaking through that and really putting yourself out there with this new awareness. So um, back at you. You did the work, you showed up, and you kept going, and now you get to reap the rewards.
that's and the other aspect I wanted to mention too was starting to date at this age in my 60s. What I also appreciated about you is it's like apps, profiles, pictures. What should I put in there? And your dating lab was so helpful because we were talking with other women and we'd see their, oh, is that right? Oh, I forgot. That was so helpful because it's like I get intimidated by all the technology and the apps and the profiles and la la la. And you just simplified it and made it so that it was like, oh, I see. Like, show me the way to get there. And that really improved my profile as well. So that was helpful too.
Thank you for bringing that in because so many people, if not almost every single person I speak to before they work with me, says online dating is a shit show. It's
Mhm.
exhausting. It doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. And there are ways to make it work. I always say online dating is the cart before the horse. You definitely need to know who you are and what all the stuff we've been talking about. With that said, there are specific strategies and ways to write your profile and ways to present yourself that just night and day. And I'm so glad that you got value from that. It's night and day. So
Yep.
I'm so happy for you, sister. So happy for you. Thank you for being here. And so this is my first uh I don't know what you even call this. What should we call this, Masanda?
Uh, your
A happy camper?
your video dating testimonial. Woohoo!
Video dating testimonials. There we go. Thank you for being here.